Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I'm Richard Lewis. Helping me produce this video is of course Sam. A lot of people asking questions about what Sam actually does. On the important news videos like this, he doesn't talk much. He occasionally chimes in. But of course, he is responsible for producing all of the videos, pressing the buttons, bringing everything up in real time, an essential part of the operation. He's also a researcher. He also double checks all the logs and points at information. He's a pretty busy guy. So all the people saying, I do not understand what he does. What is his
Yeah, I
purpose?
love that. Who's this fat mess? Sam in the back, yeah, sound.
I mean, yeah, okay. Well, at least you don't have a camera on you, so,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, so that's just to clarify that. Now, we're coming at you here. I want to give you a disclaimer at the start of this video. It's very important that people understand this. We're going to present this information in this video for information purposes only. We don't want anyone to go out and do anything crazy with it, okay? We don't want anybody to start making wild accusations. We're not making any allegations ourselves. What we're doing is we are asking a question. And as you'll see from the title of the video, that question is, do OPSkins have a case to answer here? Do they need to make a statement in regards to the Phantom Lord story that we broke on this channel? Now, the reason for asking that is that you'll remember from previous videos, there were references to OPSkins. Obviously, OPSkins' place in the skins marketplace is quite unique. They are basically the go-to site if you want to take skins and convert them into real money. We'll talk about that in just a second. But on multiple occasions, you will see, and especially when we're talking about the financials of the site. So on our previous videos with the Joris and Care logs and the Phantom Lord and Joris logs, what we saw references to OPSkins and indeed a person called John. And also as well somebody called Tucker. Now, John and Tucker are part of the OPSkins hierarchy, but let's just first of all take a look at OPSkins, how they got into the business, how they came into existence. Now, this is very important. If we look at an article released on June 30th, 2015 on Vice's tech vertical called Motherboard, there was an article by Simon Kutu. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it's called, Here's How You Make $12,000 in Profit a Day Selling Virtual Guns. In this article, it talks about who the people are that have founded the site, and they're Artem Minikov and John Brashishi. I think I'm saying that right, Sam. You can definitely help me out with that. Yeah, whatever. And I'll try not to say it too much over the course of this video. And you can see that they founded a site called OPSkins in January. And they've since made a fortune, it says, buying and selling virtual video game gun skins online. It says that they're based in Montreal. It says OPSkins is an in-escrow system for the sale of virtual gun designs. It talks a lot about their business model, including what percentage of the money that they take. It says here that for every transaction that goes through, in return for mitigating the risk of getting scammed, they take 10% of each sale. On average, they were making $120,000 of transactions going through their site a day, which means a daily profit of about $12,000. And keep in mind that it is very likely to have gone up. We've already seen some of the numbers just from CSGO Shuffle in terms of skins that they were using and pushing through OPSkins as a site. Now, further on it goes, you can see exactly why they did this, and they talked about how it was to protect consumers. Minikov is quoted as saying, people used to sell their guns directly on forums. The buyer would pay via PayPal, but afterwards would charge back as soon as he got his item. So people who sold the weapon were getting scammed. The community wasn't happy about it, so we tried to find a solution. They're talking very specifically here about, how they're trying to be a consumer movement. And it does make sense when you take transactions on the internet into that other realm and you have to trust in everybody, especially using a third-party system like PayPal, it is very easy to get scammed. And even businesses that pose as legitimate can find and have problems with that. We're going to be doing a video about G2A. You know all about the problems they have there with chargebacks and identity theft and everything else. So obviously, if you're looking to sell a skin, which is something that, to my understanding, I'm not too sure how Valve will feel about you selling a skin for real money off the Steam marketplace. This was a service that kind of facilitated that stuff and mitigated risk to stop people getting scammed. Now, they talk about the insane prices. How the most expensive item was a virtual knife sold for $5,000, and to which John says there is scarcity attached to some items, but it's all cosmetic. Plenty of users don't think it's ridiculous. Actually, about 370,000 users don't. And I guess that refers to the kind of the number of people that are actively trading and whatnot through OPSkins. Anyway. Talks how they have 20 staff members spread across the US, Canada, Europe, and it contains a lot of information about the business. I won't bore you, but you can go and read the whole article. It'll be linked here. So OPSkins, we know, we know what they do, we know why they were founded, and we know they've got these links. Now, in the logs that we saw previously, we saw that there was a reference to somebody called John. Now, you've seen there, the founder is called John with that surname that I'm struggling to pronounce. So we wanted to have a look and see exactly what's been going on, learn about these people, because we find it very interesting that despite the Phantom Lord story occurring, OPSkins haven't come out and said anything. All we know is that they've suspended Phantom Lord's actual trading account temporarily, which I guess maybe that's all they need to do. I'm not saying otherwise, remember. This is all just for information purposes. So we took a look at John's LinkedIn, and you know what I mean? It's as barren as a pantry after Sam's come over to stay. There's no deep sound. There's just nothing on it. But however, because of how the site works, you can see that it's definitely him. It's definitely him who has ties to OPSkins, because even though it doesn't say he specifically works for the group, the way the site works is on the right-hand side when it links you to other employees that work for OPSkins. So I think we can safely deduce it is the same guy. So I don't know when he changed his LinkedIn to be like this and to have nothing on it. But one thing I do know is that Tucker, who was named in these logs, after we made this video, it seems that he turned his Twitter to private. Now, again, I don't know why he would feel the need to do that. That's certainly, he's been quite an open person. There were public people on there who were messaging me saying, well, he's made it private and he's left me on there. I can see all of his tweets. So any attempt to sort of shut down any people looking through and mining it for information was very poorly managed, because there was just regular folks on there, and lots of people sent me tweets from this Tucker's account. Now, again, we don't want to show you Tucker's LinkedIn page because there's a lot of information, a lot of identifying information on there. But he's called Tucker Preston. He seemed to work on the technical aspect of it. He refers to himself as a DDoS mitigation guru. And yet he's named in these logs as talking about, and we saw this in the Karen Joris video, talking about how CS:GO Shuffle was a real site, and how you're the only one who partners with us. All these other businesses are using us. So Tucker obviously had some role to play in the operations as well, and he was obviously a point of contact for these people who ran CS:GO Shuffle. Now, several people, multiple people who were on Tucker's Twitter at the time that it was made private, sent me some tweets that showed he had links to the CS:GO Shuffle site, and especially Phantom Lord. Now, the first tweet we'll bring up here, you can see that Tucker Preston says to Hotted, who we remember was sponsored by CS:GO Shuffle. And as we've seen in the logs, Phantom Lord kept his alleged ownership from Hotted the entire time. And you can see Dingle Derper, which of course is Phantom Lord's girlfriend. You can see Tucker Preston saying, your streaming PCs are ready. So we know that Tucker Preston played some role in giving these people PCs around about the 10th of July. And you can see Hotted also saying, awesome, we are getting ready and heading there soon. So where is there? Where were they going? Again, it's very hard to ascertain. We're going to have to troll through some more logs and see if we can pinpoint some more information. The next tweet, of course, was Tucker Preston. This is the 6th of December, 2015, showing the OPSkins HQ, showing a car with a private number plate of spammer. So this is, and I believe is that a Lexus logo, Sam?
I don't give a fuck about cars, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm sure someone can verify, some car enthusiasts. But anyway, you can see it's a nice car. It's got that personalized number plate spammer. There's a picture of the house. And again, these people quite often posted things showing how wealthy they were, how well they were doing. This happened quite often. We know OPSkins was a very profitable business from that earlier article, and indeed we saw on, I believe it was the Instagram, which has subsequently been altered. Of Dingle Derper and Phantom, we've seen them eating in fairly nice restaurants and traveling all around the world and that kind of thing. So. Skins is a very profitable business. Next tweet, you can see Phantom Lord. Congratulations to a user on winning a StatTrak M9 bayonet Doppler. Thanks again to OPSkins for the knife. Tucker Preston says congrats. So again, we've got Tucker Preston as being involved in now this sort of giveaways. He's even congratulating people. So this is the person who supposedly only deals with like the tech side of things and DDoS mitigation. But here he is congratulating a user on winning a giveaway. Also, we can deduce from this, OPSkins gave skins to Phantom Lord to give away. This is the first of a few business ties that operate outside the realm of them just being used as a third-party seller. We're going to prove that to you as well in these logs. Then the next tweet that comes up, you can see, again, just a personal, friendly tweet. It's Phantom Lord saying happy 4th. Again, it's the 4th of July. Let's do this. And Tucker is saying, don't blow yourself up. A lot of fireworks there. And again, it shows that they have this friendly relationship. The next one, you can see Phantom Lord sent a gift to Tucker Preston. It's a Phantom Lord t-shirt there. So we move on to the next one. And this is particularly interesting. Tucker Preston, 9th of July, 2015. You can see this is Phantom Lord and Dingle Derper having dinner. You can see dinner with Phantom Lord, Dingle Derper, Hotted, Mr. Minikov that we know, and the OPSkins crew, hashtag ESWC. Now, what's interesting here is OPSkins, as we know, again, from reading about the articles, they invested $100,000 into the ESWC event in Montreal, which actually was a bit of a disaster, but that's where that money went. And again, it shows OPSkins were coming and bleeding into esports, were putting money back into esports, which is another reason why I'm only asking the question and not making an allegation. But what this tweet actually shows is, again, they were having this is a relationship. You will notice that there are not other people there, despite it being an ESWC event. It is Phantom Lord, Dingle Derper, Hotted, and the OPSkins crew. So why are they having dinner? What are they talking about? What's going on? Is this normal for all partners? I think that's a valid question. Do all partners that use OPSkins get this kind of treatment? So, right. Now we move on to the next part of the story, which is we actually had logs, of course, from Joris, the coder of CSGO Shuffle. And in these logs, he has basically been talking to a Skype account called OPSkins. We weren't too sure who it was going to be. We had to do some, searching and whatnot, and you'll see what's going on. But I'll take you to the 10th of August, and you can see here on the 10th of August a conversation between Joris and the OPSkins. And in particular, I'll draw your attention to 29 minutes past 10. And you can just see that they're talking about how, and this is from the OPSkin side of thing, they're talking about how their users don't understand how the site works. You can see OPSkins is saying, I'm dumbfounded as to how these people don't understand how this all works, which is a very interesting thing, because this is somebody who in a previous article was talking about how they wanted to offer a consumer service. Here he's talking about how the consumers are idiots and he can't believe that people don't understand how it works, this kind of thing. So that seems a little bit of a contradictory stance, especially given the interview with Vice. Then we'll see again the next log here that I'm going to bring up. Oh, this is a big one. So this is Thursday, the 13th of August, 2015. And what's happening on this one is that they are talking about creating a global banning system. This is particularly interesting because OPSkins was talking about how Steam Rep, this kind of thing, is obviously used by all of these high-level skins traders as almost like a verification, but he wasn't satisfied with the system, this OPSkins account. He says what he wants to do is create his own global banning system. Okay, and he would have direct dominion over who is deemed to be authentic, who is deemed to be believable, and who isn't. And again, this is again a great service, but it does raise concerns because you can see throughout these logs there is a very intimate relationship between Joris and this OPSkins account. They talk frequently. They share ideas for coding. They share ideas in general. This is a go-to contact for anything Joris needs business-wise when it comes to filling up the bots, selling the skins. The vast majority of the conversation, I'd probably say about 70% of the logs are those kind of exchanges. It's a very hands-on, personal level of service, though. So to be talking about this when simultaneously you're working with a site that we believe has been shown to have been acting in an improper fashion. I don't think anyone's disputing that at this time. Obviously, it does raise concerns that if a site like CSGO Shuffle could blindside OPSkins and they're controlling a banning system that runs in line with it, that would be quite disastrous. This wouldn't protect consumers. This would actually be worse for consumers. So again, I think that exchange is in the public interest, as I believe all of this to be. Then we're going to go to the 24th. Now, this is, again, particularly interesting because here he talks about the global banning system that he wants to implement, okay, which I believe was at globalbans.com. And he talks, the OPSkins account talks about how when you use OPSkins, there'll be a cookie placed on, which enables this banning system to track what you're doing, track your businesses and work. Now, again, I don't know enough about the law when it comes to the tech side of things. I don't know if you're covered just by having a little pop-up saying, hey, we use cookies and that's that, or whether this is just normal procedure or whatever. But the idea of using cookies to track everybody and it being talked about here, I'm interested in disclosure. You know, was this disclosed publicly? Were people aware that this was being tracked in a way to use for a global bans website that, as far as I can tell, actually never really got off the ground? So that's interesting in itself as well. Now we'll move on to the next one, which let me just bring that up. And got my notes here. So yes, this is proof that the person that he's talking to isn't Tucker. On the 30th of August, Joris actually asks and says, you know, I wish Tucker were here to help them with a tech problem. So we now know that the OPSkins account isn't Tucker. And prior to that, oh, well, actually, it's irrelevant what happens prior to that. We'll keep it succinct. Basically, this is the log that proves that this person isn't Tucker Preston. We remove them from the equation at this point. Now, on the 9th of September, which should be the next log that we bring up, you can see here what we have on the screen is a log where basically they're talking about, you know, Care has been hacked. And you can see this OPSkins account is very concerned by it. He's saying, you know, add this Skype to it, and you know, this is the real one. Don't get tricked. And just that level of concern to be like, shit, like it makes me wonder, what were they worried about? Is this concern for a colleague, an associate? It's never nice having your Skype hacked. Or is he worried about logs like the ones that we've been sent being made public? It was talked about extensively in the logs about how Care was hacked in September, and people were definitely very flighty about the information that might come out. So far, those logs haven't surfaced. We haven't been sent those logs, and they've not been made public anywhere. But we can safely deduce someone must have something somewhere, because everybody is talking about how Care was a victim of cybercrime on those dates. Now we move on, and you can see here that on the 23rd of September, just an interesting reference here, which for me is worth talking about. Vulcan turn up. And I mean, we've already said we're going to do a video on Vulcan because Vulcan have publicly denied owning any gambling site or having a stake in any gambling site, which makes no sense to me because we see a lot of evidence to the contrary, and I'm very interested in seeing exactly what happens there. So you can see here, there's just a very brief exchange where OPSkins talks to Joris, and Joris says, seems like Jackpot is also partnering with one of your competitors. And then OP Skin says, methinks they own them. They're clearly talking about Vulcan here, as you'll see. And Joris goes, yeah, wouldn't surprise me after this partnership out of nowhere. But then why would he use a freaking referral link on Jackpot? We'll talk more about that in our upcoming video. Anyway, OP Skins, you can see, hey, you guys own BitSkins, which of course is a different business to Jackpot as far as I understand it. So Ali Moitz, the well-known guy, especially after his argument with Athene, he's the well-known representative of Vulcan on the internet. He's the one who made the statement denying any involvement in gambling sites. He said, no, it's run by a friend of mine. We have no ownership or stake in it. He repeats that. It's almost as if it was some sort of cleverly repeated line. I'm not saying it is, but it does seem a bit odd, isn't it? That like you work that into a conversation. What's wrong with just saying no? Just say no, like they said in Grange Hill. So just giving him a temporary promotion for a week or two. You guys should buy him. He's an amazing engineer. And then OPSkins said, I don't know if I believe him, but whatever. And they talk about some bots and whatnot. But I thought it was interesting that once again, we have a name of another business that's involved in this. And this is what I found. I've been trying to lay all these pieces out in front of me. And it's all of these interlinking businesses in gambling. They all know each other. They all work with each other. They use the same website coders. They've had meetings. They've discussed workarounds. This looks like a group of people that have identified an opportunity and kind of closed ranks to control information about it. It looks very, very dubious to me across the board. But again, that's just how it appears to me. That is an opinion, not a statement of fact. Then on the 24th of September, we can see OPSkins were victims of another hack. And this time it seemed to be on their Steam account or their bots account. They even talk in this about how Valve and Valve employees were socially engineered or SE'd. You can see for yourself there. Now, if I just read you a bit down here, apparently what happened was somebody gained access to it, changed the email so it wasn't at opskins.com, it was changed to at hotmail.com. So somebody obviously created a throwaway Hotmail account in a bid to defraud or obtain information about OPSkins. Right, and you can see here, this OPSkins account is saying you do that and it doesn't throw any red flags. And then they talk more and more about it. Goes right down and he goes, yeah, but yeah, Valve employees told us they got socially engineered, and apparently the entire support team was looking at our account to see what the fuck happened. Joris says, I hope they know who did this shit at least, like logs, smiley face. We all love logs. And then OPSkins said, I hope someone gets fired, lol. So this is interesting as well. Seems OPSkins had conversations with Valve about this hack. And they certainly talk later on about having conversations with Valve. In these logs, there is a few talks that suggest they have had conversations with Valve. We've seen Reddit threads as well that sort of allude to that. So next up, we have on... It is, yes, this is important. It's the 26th of September. Now we get an idea about who we are dealing with. So in this exchange here, you can see they're just talking about business. And you can see that the OPSkins account controller is saying, I had to uninstall Skype from my phone because idiots kept DDoSing me. So if you ever need something in a pinch, either Steam or, and he gives an email address. Now, we're obscuring that email address, again, because we do not want these people to be harassed or attacked or whatever crazy people on the internet might do. We absolutely don't condone that or want any of that to happen. But we obviously did a Google search. I mean, that's the first cursory piece of research you would do on something like this. We just wanted to see what that email account linked up to, right? So we had a look. We know it's not Tucker, right? So we had a look and we Googled it and we found the email, and it was on an i3D forum. And there was a post there on June 3rd, 2014, which, as we know from the article, was prior to the existence of OPSkins, and that email corresponded to a user called Big John. Big John, Sam. He's big. He's called John. Obviously, we know that there was a co-owner called John on the site. I think we can safely assume, therefore, that this OPSkins account is controlled by the John, the founder, the owner of OPSkins. And therefore, that really gives this a different complexion. This isn't just some low-level admin. This is talking with the owner directly. It's the owner that has this very, I don't want to oversell it, but it's certainly, to me, it's an incredible level of customer service. I would find it incredibly hard to believe that you could maintain this level of customer service as an owner of a business when you have 20 employees, remember, that should be dealing with shit like this for all your partners and for everybody, that's even the bigger sellers on OPSkins. But certainly in this instance, it seems that Big John definitely has done that. So coming up next, you can see that on December the 12th, this John person, again, he implies that he's an owner because he talks extensively about other businesses. He kind of has a little bit of a brag, They make some jokes about dick pics, and he sends a cached Google link talking about skins.gg. And what he says there is skins. It says it was supposed to be an OPSkins killer. They sell like 10 items a day. Joris jokes, I'd be worried. OPSkins sells lol. And then, well, Skin King got owned. The Skin King dude was such a douchebag. He was trying to advertise on our Reddit constantly. So they now also own a subreddit as well. Make of that what you will. My understanding was that Reddit had some kind of rules about commercial ventures being passed through subreddits. I don't know if that's still the case. I do see game developers, for example, where the developers themselves are the head mods in subreddits, but this is a commercial venture. So having a subreddit that seems to be dedicated to that, I don't know if that's a bit of a gray area. But anyway, he says on our Reddit constantly. So again, this just adds further proof, I would say, that this individual is an owner, a co-owner, a founder, someone who has a very high stake in it. Good old Big John. And he goes, so we banned him. Then he started saying we banned him because we're scared of him. He got carded and went out of business in like a month, lol. So again, he's kind of laughing at the expense of the competition. And the reason we're including that is because, obviously, as I said, it shows ownership. Then, this is interesting. Christmas Day, he actually... they have an exchange on Christmas Day. Again, it seems incredible. I mean, if I was a businessman, I don't know if I'd be talking to my consumers on Christmas Day. I'd probably take that day off, spend it with the family, relax, chill, eat turkey, get fatter, drink some brandy, whatever you want to do. But you can see Joris says, "Oh, my bot stopped working." And then anyway, we scroll down and he says, "It's blah, 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 blah. Yeah, here we go." He says, "We are busy as hell right now. Crazy. All the kids spending the gift cards they got for Christmas, lol." And then he links to an image, which we'll bring up for you, and it's a record. It says it's a record, and it's items sold, and you can see it's 100,430 items, a record on the website. Now, I'm not saying OPSkins are doing anything wrong, and kids can spend voucher cards. Remember, OPSkins is not a gambling site. They were left off that Valve cease and desist letter, okay? But they do work with these gambling sites. They do have relationships with these gambling sites. So I just thought that was worth including as well, because everyone talks about kids in this business, and yet publicly the defense is, oh, no, it ain't kids. We know they're adults. We know it, and we know that isn't true. We know from the demographic that we operate with. So that was on Christmas Day. Then we go to the 1st, 2nd of January. There's a lot going on here. So I'll try and keep it succinct. It starts with a joke on behalf of Big John saying that, can you fix a raffle for me? And Joris says no. Obviously, we do know that perhaps that they may have fixed other things, but whatever. And he starts talking about global bans again. He talks about the coding. And then he says, I noticed a lot more referrals to OPSkins. And Joris had asked him, did you notice an increased load from Shuffle? So this is where they start referring and they start talking about how they're a partnership. Think about what we saw in the Care and Jobbers logs, how they were talking specifically about how, oh, you're our best partners. Everyone else uses us. We look, we got a great business for you. Seems to be consistent with what we're seeing here. And you can see that we've been getting a lot more referrals to OPSkins. And then he says, we should add something where they can use the points to get a discount on your items on OPSkins. And you can use an API endpoint to display your OPSkins items in your shop or something like that. So again, they're starting, this really is becoming a partnership by the 1st of January 2016. We can see they're even talking about how they can make that partnership more profitable and better business for both parties. Then on the 5th of January, you can see that there's talk where Joris says, hey, I'm trying to cash out in Bitcoins from our selling account. There is a number there, but I need ID verification. And OPSkin says, yeah, BitPay requires us to do that. We can't make any exceptions. Sorry. So we now have a little bit of an idea about the cashing out. They're saying, hey, we're cashing out in Bitcoins. This is interesting because this is the first time we've talked about cashing out from OPSkins in Bitcoins. That wasn't in a previous video. So now we get another idea. There's an extra layer to the finances. Before then, all they were talking about was PayPal. Now we know some of this money was passed on in Bitcoins. And I've seen a lot of other transactions relating to these businesses and other dubious activities, which I'll try and fit into videos for you, where Bitcoins do actually seem to be a preferred method. So this is what's happening with this cryptocurrency right now. People are taking real cash and then using parts of it in Bitcoins. But I thought that was an interesting point of information. Now, finally, you can see that between the 13th and 16th of January, and again, we thought this is important. Think about what we talked earlier about how they had conversations with Valve during the hack, and a Valve employee had been socially engineered, according to the OPSkins account, according to Big John. And you can see that Joris is getting very upset about the support from Steam. And you can see on the 15th of January, he says, and we're link filtered with a link to it. And then, sorry, that's actually OPSkins who says that, and we're link filtered. Now, at the same time, CSGO Shuffle had been link filtered as well. And then you can see OPSkins said, yeah, we got unlink filtered. Joris is like, really? He can't believe it. OPSkins say, yeah. Joris says, wow. And then OPSkins say, our situation was different. Some idiot mod link filtered us for no reason. You got link filtered for spam. And then Joris says, I don't even know if they will do anything for us. The mod just said he sent a PM and a staff guy would get about it. And OPSkins say that's good. So they talk about how, like, oh, our situation was different. You got link filtered for spam. We had a conversation and it was all sorted. So at one point they were link filtered, then they weren't. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm hoping that, again, these questions can be answered in due time, because I think these kind of questions need to be answered. It's the whole point for presenting this video. Anyway, so as I've said over the course of this, I'm not saying anything untoward is going on. I want to stress that. I haven't seen any evidence of anything untoward from OPSkins. All we know is they have a very close relationship with Phantom Lord and CSGO Shuffle staff. We know that they weren't named on that cease and desist letter, which is potentially a special dispensation. So it is important, in my opinion, that they come out and make a statement about what the CSGO Shuffle relationship means for them as a business and what action they'll be taking as they move forward. Because if they are all about the consumer, as they claimed in that interview with Vice, then they should clarify what happens when they see sites operating in this way. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this video. We will see you on the next one.